Welcome to Smart Investing Market Insights. I'm Krista Das. From oil, copper, uranium, natural gas, silver, even corn, commodities are the next new hot thing for investors. In fact, CNN ran a report under the headline, The Great Corn Gold Rush. Joining me now is Aaron Beal, group publisher of the TFN Group. Aaron provides the direction to a staff of 5 analysts who research just about every kind of investment opportunity you could think of. For the past few months, her editors have zeroed in on commodities. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Krista.
I'd like to start by asking you this question. Exactly how do you know what investors are interested in? I doubt you have a crystal ball, but there's got to be some kind of intelligence you use to figure out where investors' interests lie.
Right, Krista. Well, as publishers of investment information, we're constantly monitoring stocks and the market trends, but more importantly, we're also focused on what investors are most focused on. We can tell just how much interest there is in a particular sector by watching how our readers respond to our literature that we write every day, and also by the clicks on the reports we offer on our web portal, taipanfinancialnews.com. For example, in April, it's become very clear to us that investors are keenly interested in commodities. Commodities are the most viewed information that we publish on our website this month.
So when you say commodities, what are you talking about specifically?
Well, interestingly enough, it is not oil, despite the reversal of the oil price since February. And it's also surprising that it's not gold either. What people are interested that we're finding is metals. Cobalt, uranium, nickel, the more obscure kind of metals.
So would you say that retail investors are focusing on the physical metals?
Actually, the highest interest we've measured is for mining stocks, especially those focusing on nickel, cobalt, and uranium, as we said before. And we're not necessarily finding much interest in the larger mining stocks, but it's the second and third tiers, some of them penny stocks, and some of them are even traded in Canada and Australia.
So aren't these types of junior mining companies inherently risky?
Well, of course, to a certain extent, all penny stocks are risky, and junior miners are no exception. In the past, a group of people would get together and set up a shell company, and they'd be raking in millions in investments without even having produced a single ounce of gold or silver or nickel or whatever they were mining for. So that's where we come in. Our editors work to filter out all those so-called junk juniors from those who are actually producing, and they find the ones that are about to produce their commodity in order to provide readers with solid recommendations. And their recommendations are always packed with potential, but they have substantially lower risk.
Okay, so is there an editor in your group recommending a particular mining company?
There is. Andrew Mickey, he's the editor of Breakaway Investor and Small Cap Commodity Prospector. He has been talking about one of his most exciting finds lately. We had an editorial meeting for the TFN Group last week, and he's been talking about this mining-related stock. I say it's mining-related because this company doesn't do the actual mining. Rather, they finance the mining deals. And according to Andrew, that's where the big money is to be made. They're a highly focused bank that's targeted to help mid-sized mining firms compete. They're more than just a source of funds for cash-strapped miners. They really want to take the business and make it a roaring success, and that's how they're enjoying their own success.
And what kind of track record does this company have with these kind of deals?
So, I asked the same question. Andrew's pretty tight-lipped about this opportunity while he's still doing his diligence. But he knows that I'm always skeptical, as are many of our viewers. So he did make a point to tell me that the last mining company that this financing bank took under its wing, so to speak, shot up more than 5,000% in just 4 years.
Wow.
And so the bank obviously gets a hefty slice of that pie.
Okay, so what kind of track record does this company have with these kind of deals?
They have a very solid track record. Andrew wouldn't give me all of the information. He's still doing his due diligence. But since I'm pretty skeptical about his findings, he did make a point to tell me that the last company this bank took under its wing, so to speak, they shot up 5,000% in 4 years. And of course, the bank gets a hefty slice of that pie.
Wow.
As I said, Andrew is currently finishing up his due diligence, and he'll have his findings wrapped up shortly and available to all of you.
Well, that's great. So how would we, how would he convey that information once he finishes his due diligence?
Well, he'll write up a special breakaway investor report. I would expect the report to be available in the next few weeks. But again, he'll only release the information when he's completely finished his research. He's a thorough guy, I can tell you that firsthand. So the information he's put together will be very detailed, I can guarantee that.
Now, Aaron, exchange-traded funds have been playing a big role in the manipulation of supply and hence prices when it comes to these metals. How does the retail investor look at that?
Well, despite the increasing popularity in ETFs in the media, what we're finding is that investors still prefer small mining stocks with a story or a unique niche to ETFs. The popularity is just not there.
And what are other sectors that are popular with investors?
Well, another big favorite is alternative energy, but even in that broader theme, we have a big variance. Our investors like to pursue alternative energy stocks, especially if they involve solar power, and especially if those companies have a connection to China or India. Straightforward energy plays, for an example, on increased regulatory pressure in the States, they only get marginal interest for us.
Okay, so how would you take that piece of knowledge about alternative energy and turn it into information your readers can use?
Well, our specialty is finding the unique stories and companies. We all remember last summer when the popularity of alternative energy really came about as gas prices were skyrocketing. But what we found is that investors weren't really looking for the obvious plays that you'd hear about on CNBC. At that time, our Material Profits Service was highlighting a tiny island off the coast of Denmark, and they had succeeded in becoming entirely energy dependent. In fact, by 2008, this island will show the world how to successfully replace oil and power grids with clean, renewable energy. And they're set to make OPEC's $600 million a day cartel virtually worthless. At the time, no one else was reporting on this story, and I think that's what attracted many investors to Sarah Nunnally's Material Profits.
So for the company that you just mentioned, is it still a viable investment now?
Yeah, one of the companies she was looking at it's called Vestas Wind Systems, and they're actually up more than 200% since she recommended them.
Wow.
This company is a little out of reach now, but she still thinks it's a great company, even though the price has skyrocketed. But there's a lot of new opportunities, particularly in the European renewable energy industry. Sarah's actually spent the past 4 months researching 5 new companies, and they really are set to change the face of renewable energy in Europe. She's actually just put the finishing touches on a new special report as we speak, and she hopes to make that report available to Material Profits members as soon as possible.
Well, that's great. Aaron, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but this is not only good information, but very interesting. If viewers would like to get a copy of the report Andy is putting together, even Sarah's for that matter, where can they get it?
Right, well, they can either visit breakawayinvestor.com, materialprofits.com, and of course taipanfinancialnews.com will always have all that information as well.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. As Aaron mentioned, if you'd like to get a copy of this special investor briefing reports, you can do so right here at taipanfinancialnews.com. That's all for this edition of Market Insights. I'm Krista Das, and I'll see you again next week. Have a great week.